Hey everyone, and welcome to the H4RL Career Podcast. I'm David, and again, I'm kind of flying solo today. Jill still isn't able to make it with us, but I have high hopes that she'll be here next time. So hopefully you guys don't mind listening to me talk and ramble on. Well, try not to ramble on. Anyway, we're going to be talking about a really awesome career that might be able to make an impact in the future using engineering to basically engineer products for the other 50% of the world. Plus, if you're not an engineer, by the way, I think there's also other type of career paths that you might find interesting in this one. So please hold on. By the way, if you find this interesting at all and helpful, please give us a thumbs up, like us, all those good things. Give us 5 stars, subscribe, tell other people about us. We're trying to get this out there, and the more you guys tell people about it, it really helps us out. So with that being said, let's get into this week's career idea. So today we're going to be talking about humanitarian engineering. And by the way, I'll talk a little bit about this, but actually I have a whole webinar, the whole webinar I did on our site. So you can go ahead, if you join our career site, which is a free trial going on right now, you'll be able to actually listen to an entire long webinar on that website. Plus, you also get to hear a detailed interview with the CEO of the company I'm going to be talking about today on our website. By the way, is one of the many careers you get to look at and many interviews that we have on our site as well. So come check us out. Like I said, it's a free trial. Plus, if you decide to work through it with us, it's a very reasonable price out there. It's the same cost as basically taking your family out to a fast food restaurant for once. So that's how much it is per month. So it's very reasonable. Anyway, let's get started. So today we're going to talk about humanitarian engineering. All right. So this is basically a subset of engineering that isn't really offered in too many colleges. There are some out there who do offer a specific degree in this, but it's mostly mechanical, electrical, maybe some software engineers who decide to basically design products for basically impoverished people. Not most products in the entire world are designed for the top 10% because they're the ones that have all the money. All right, people in America, the Western world, China, some of that, they have money, so they spend it, so they design products for that. But many of these products aren't really useful for people in impoverished areas. For example, they have different needs, right? If you're in the Western world, you have easy access to clean water, you have easy access to food and stuff like that. But people in other countries that may not have those things, like third world countries, they may not have access to clean water. So what Design Outreach does is actually design equipment specifically for them. The biggest thing is called the Life Pump. It's a purpose-designed hand pump that goes down to 100 meters. They actually just designed a new one that goes down to 150 meters. That is unheard of, by the way. If you know anything about hand pumps for human power, these don't have motors on them, right? Because motors require either solar power panels or you have to have a generator to run them, and they're much more expensive, and a lot of times things can go wrong with them. But these are hand pumped pumps that can go down to literally 100 meters to 150 meters down. And that's really, really far down for a pump if you know anything about hand pumps. The reason why they can get down so far is because they were specifically designed for humans. Many of the water pumps that are out there use like oil pumps that are basically designed for machines to drive them. These pumps are designed specifically for use by humans. Basically, the handles were designed to be ergonomic for people to pump, not designed just for interface with the motor. The actual rotor and stator that goes way down into the well basically you didn't need as much friction between the rotor and the stator, which actually generates the pressure to go up. So they reduced that, they changed the materials type, they changed the tolerances down there, so that basically it was easier to drive but still generate the amount of pressure. Because again, if you have like a 5 horsepower motor running something, that's way more powerful than a human can do, so you don't really care so much about the friction in between the rotors and stators. And plus they made it out of longer lasting material. The big issue is, like, in Africa, there's a lot of hand pumps out there, but again, they weren't specifically designed for people and designed well by real well engineered, like this particular Life Pump is. So they broke down after like 3 to 6 months, and then they're in very remote areas, so maintenance and logistics is really hard to keep them maintained. So you design these pumps so they last years. They've had a pump running for at least 6 years now without ever breaking down. That is like life changing, because once they have clean water, these people then can focus their energies on going to school. Their kids can go to school. Otherwise, many times these kids are the ones walking back and forth to rivers and stuff like that, spending all day gathering water, especially the girls in the community and the women, and they can't go to school. And if they can't go to school, they can't really get an education and then get a good job in order to change their life, and they get stuck in poverty. If you spend all your time just trying to survive, you can't really spend your time trying to advance in this world. So once they have water, they actually were able to plant a sustainable and reliable source of water. They're able to plant a garden, grow it, have now a reliable source of food. They're able to make mud bricks instead of living in a thatch like house. They have a more rugged, a nice house that's actually a little bit cooler in the summertime than the normal thatch houses. So it's a brick house. Not to mention, in many of these areas, teachers won't even come to these villages if they don't have a reliable source of water, because they have to attract teachers to come to these areas. So by having a reliable source of water really changes these people's lives. And he's seen it, like literally there's, I don't know how many, like tens of like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. There's lots of these pumps in Africa now working, and they all work flawlessly without breaking down. Plus they add some technology on them, so now they get this feedback to their, like here in the United States, of actually how many cycles, how many times this pump is being used, so they know the use rates on them. So when they do kind of break down over time, they'll actually have real data, so they know like how long they're going to last, so they can put in maintenance cycles on them. They've done a great job of engineering this. They hire they actually have engineers on staff, but they actually rely on a decent network of volunteer engineers. Myself, I have actually helped volunteer. I know the CEO and also the two guys who founded it. I know them quite well, so I do volunteer to help out some with them. That's how I know about this company. But they just had this idea, like somebody needs to design these products for these people. Now they don't sell it to them at a high markup. They actually sell them very low. So again, they're a nonprofit. They rely on a lot of donations from other companies. So they have a whole fundraising side of their entire organization. So if you're starting to hear about this, if you listen to the last podcast that we did about the Eden Reforestation Project, they have a whole fundraising side. All these nonprofits need to raise money in order to do what they do, in order to pay their bills, so they can keep their cost of their products low and make a difference in this world. So if you are good at talking to people, are you good at like just making that contact and not, I don't want to say asking for money, but it's not really asking for money, just making personal relationships and talking with them, that's fundraising, all right? And they'll train you how to do that. Marketing, helping to get the message out there to other companies so they understand what they're doing, because companies do actually fund and support these people. They also have people for accounting, by the way. Accountants work here. They also have like people with computers, because guess what? They have websites and they have the whole tracking of funds coming in and stuff like that. So they have those type of people. So there's other types of jobs that work for these type of companies besides just the engineers. So if you're not want to be an engineer but want to be one of these other ideas, that's great. Somebody has to write the marketing stuff, so they have to have good communication skills and be able to write well. So if you like writing, that's an idea for you as well. So there are ways for you to get involved if you're not just straight up wanting to be an engineer. All these companies have to have these other areas in order to exist. Also business, by the way. My friend Greg, he has an engineering background, but actually he does really all business because he's the CEO of the actual organization. And he's really good at that, by the way. He's really good at going out and talking to people and sharing their vision. By the way, they don't just do pumps. They've actually done work with designing latrines for African. Like basically they have, I don't know, I'm not really involved with that project, but there's actually a latrine project. Basically there's issues with basically reusing toilets that collapse over time. So basically they design a reusable system that's safer and actually cheaper for them to use than they currently do. I know they also work with medical products, by the way, because a lot of these countries have they try to reuse some of the equipment that's designed for the United States and Europe, but it's a lot dustier and it's not the same type of environment. So they break down. So they actually are working out ways to make cheaper, lower cost type of medical equipment that they can use in these remote areas that are reliable. So they're actually doing medical products. So they do a lot of really interesting and exciting things. If any of this sounds interesting to you at all, come check out our website, h4rl.com. Check out our career site. It is actually, we have a free trial going on. There's a webinar on there. You can learn all about humanitarian engineering. We have an interview with Greg, who's the CEO of Design Outreach. Check out Design Outreach, by the way. Check out their website, doutreach.org, to learn more about the projects that they're doing, maybe how you can possibly get involved. They do have volunteers, by the way. It's a great way to get your foot in the door and see if there's something you'd like to do. They're great guys, by the way, and they're very interested in getting their message out there as well. So please tell people about it if you hear about this. Also tell people about our website. Let them know what we have to offer. I'd love to see you in there, by the way, if you want to check out our career website. Also, if you have any ideas or questions or comments or any feedback on this one, I would love to hear it. Put in the comment section below, or check us out. Come to our website, go to contacts, and just, right there, you can just shoot us a quick little message of what you thought about this one or any ideas you have for future podcasts. I appreciate it. Again, hopefully Jill's back next time so that you won't have to listen just to me this time. We're also trying to keep these shorter for you guys because I know we're all busy and we have lots of things to do. So if you like the new format, also let us know about that as well. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.